ChatGPT could be saving you hours of your time, and it's just a couple of clicks away. Listen, time is the most valuable thing that we have as humans, and over the decades, we've invented things like tools, machines, and systems in order to help us save our precious time. ChatGPT is one of those revolutionary tools that you can utilize in order to do so. That's why in this video, I'm showing you 7 ways you can utilize ChatGPT today in order to start saving time for your future. And it does not matter what niche you're in or what stage of life you're in. In my private ChatGPT community alone, I've seen this help scientists, doctors, police officers, construction workers, regular people looking how to utilize AI to become more efficient, and many more people. This can help all walks of life save time and engineer their day. Now, before we get into this video, I wanted to show you a way that you can learn ChatGPT to its maximum potential. This is my private ChatGPT mastery course and community all in one platform. And the reason I'm showing you this is because the students who have went through all of the modules have said that it's been the best way to learn ChatGPT. So I wanted to make this option available to you. This is the community section. We have a place where you can come in here. You can ask a question to the community. You can give your GPT ideas, such as Jonathan did here. So you can ask questions, post your findings of ChatGPT, and you also have a classroom section with over 50 plus modules in ChatGPT, going over everything you need to know from the basics to actually utilizing all of the features that ChatGPT has to offer to their fullest potential. Now, if this is something that interests you, I'll be leaving a link in the description or the top pinned comment. You can go and check it out. I believe it's the best way to learn ChatGPT as well as the students. Now, let's get into the rest of the video. Now, the first way you can save time in ChatGPT is by utilizing it for task automation. Let me show you how I'll set up a GPT in order to automate a small task. Now, the cool thing about ChatGPT is when you have the Plus version, you have the ability to create these things called GPTs. And GPTs are a way that you can manipulate ChatGPT to be your custom assistant to do things for you. So what I'll do here is I'm going to hit Explore GPTs, and I'm going to create a GPT in order to help me automate a specific task that takes a lot of time when I do it on my own. And this GPT is going to help me convert my notes, my rough draft notes, whether I've written them on paper or typed them in my computer, into a nice format for my Notion account. So what I'm going to call this is Notes Converter. I can upload an image. I just uploaded that little image of myself, and then I can give it a description. So I say, converts audio transcripts or rough draft notes into a refined note. And the description of your GPT, it doesn't really matter. It's just a way for you to organize them and to see what your GPT does. So now you can see on the right here that we have our nice little notes converter. It converts audio transcripts or rough drafts into refined notes. And I have my little image here. This is looking great, but what about the instructions? How do we give this GPT the data in order to perform the task we want? Well, that's when we use this instructions section over here, and this is where task automation can be done to save you hours of your time, because you list these instructions in the back end one time, and after you do that, it can perform that task whenever you want. So what I'll do is I'll type in some instructions here, and I'm only going to spend about 3 to 5 minutes typing out these instructions, but these 3 to 5 minutes are going to save me hours in the future. So I've given it some instructions, and these instructions, like I said, are very basic. This has an 8,000 character limit, so you can really go in depth, and you can even connect it to your calendar, connect it to a Google Docs, an email, whatever you want, but that's when you get a little bit more advanced. This is just going to be completing a small task. I say your job is to convert rough notes and audio transcripts into a more refined note. Let's say I quickly jot items down, but I want a nice refined version of it. So then I tell it, when I upload the transcript or rough note, you need to look through to find the valuable information based on the overall topic and then label it in a specific format. So maybe I want to format my notes in a way that is consistent across every single note that I've ever taken. But doing that myself would take hours, right? I would have to find the valuable information myself and list it in that proper format myself. This way we can just upload the rough draft to ChatGPT and it can do it all for us. Then I give some instructions here on how I want this to be labeled. I say the title should be a 3 to 5 word relevant title based on the main subject of the notes or transcript. The content should be filled with main points with relevant emojis as bullet points. Choose the emojis based on the main point and don't include the brackets with the emoji. And then I give a little bit more instruction here, and then I give an example format of how I want all of my notes formatted when I upload them to ChatGPT. I say, you can format the note like this: title, emoji here, main point 1, emoji here, main point 2, and emoji here, main point 3. So this is going to be a very custom way that I can create every single note on ChatGPT. Then I can hit close, and if I want, I could go into all of this stuff. I do dive into how to create a much more advanced GPT in the ChatGPT Mastery course. But for now, this will be a great way to showcase how it can automate very specific tasks. So now in the upper right-hand corner, I'm going to hit create. You might not be able to see it because my face is behind it right now, but we're just going to hit create, and then I'll show you this in action. So I'm going to hit only me and share. And now let's say that I have a very rough draft note. I'm just going to paste in this information here. And let's say I took this note on how to focus for work better. Maybe I was listening to a master class or I was watching a YouTube video and I was just quickly jotting down some information in paragraph format. As you can see in my prompt bar here, I have loads and loads of information, but it's unorganized and it's very boring to read. So what I'm going to do is in my notes converter GPT that I created in about 3 minutes, I'm going to send off this prompt. And in that format, I told the notes converter to put my notes in. What it's going to do is label that very specifically. So as you can see, it's labeling this note in a nice, effective way. It's saying effective focus strategies. It's using the emojis as bullet points, and it's picking apart this note and automating this task for me. Doing this on my own would have taken hours, and look how beautiful it is. It gave me all of the main points with these cool emojis. And the thing is you don't only have to do this for notes, but you have to get creative. What content generation task could you use? There's a retired police chief in the ChatGPT Mastery community, and he actually utilized it to create police reports, and that's a huge, long process. And it was kind of cool to see how you can utilize it for different niches, or maybe you do estimates for construction projects, or you have an SEO strategy that you utilize that's very specific and you want things labeled in a certain way. Maybe you're a marketer. You have to really get creative with task automation and utilizing these GPTs, but when I tell you it can save hours, it definitely can save hours of your time. The next way you could be saving hours using ChatGPT is by creating routines and schedules. And this can either be from completely nothing or from past routines or past schedules that you've had. Now, it's important when you're doing this to be very specific about what you've got going on, what you want included in your schedule, and then have ChatGPT do the rest of the work for you in order to organize your day or your workout routine or your diet or whatever it is in the most efficient way possible. Let me show you a couple of examples of me doing that right now. So what I could do is I could type in a prompt, and this is a very quick and easy prompt. I'm basically telling ChatGPT to create a healthy schedule for tomorrow, and this is great because number one, planning ahead of time is the best way to get things done that day. You have to plan tomorrow today, and that usually takes quite a bit of time. So removing that friction by putting the workload on ChatGPT is a good way to go about it. I say, create me a healthy schedule for tomorrow that will help me get everything done in an efficient manner. Here are the things I have to do for sure. So I'm giving my tasks that I need to do tomorrow. Record 2 videos, and I say that'll take about 3 hours of work. Read 5 chapters of the Bible, clean my office, go on a 2-mile run, and do an upper body workout. Everything else in the schedule, make it so my day flows well and is optimized best for success. I want to wake up at 7 a.m. and I also only eat dinner. Let's say I don't eat breakfast or lunch. I'm putting in the very specific things that I want in the schedule, but I'm not creating the schedule. I'm letting ChatGPT do the engineering of the schedule in order for me to be very efficient. It's also kind of fun because it makes your day a little bit more spontaneous and you're not planning it, and you can kind of revise the schedule at your needs, but it's a cool way to use ChatGPT, and it helps me save hours because planning takes a long time. But as you can see, when I send it off, it says, here's a well-constructed schedule for tomorrow, optimized to fit all of your tasks while maintaining efficiency and focus. And it's just going through and listing out this schedule for me. I can even make this in a checklist format to where I have boxes that I can check off, and I can export this, or I can copy and paste it into a Google Doc or a Notion account or wherever I have my schedules. And as you can see, ChatGPT created an in-depth optimized schedule in about 20 seconds. This would have taken me about 30 minutes to an hour to come up with on my own, and ChatGPT's engineering it for success. And look how long the schedule is. It has everything I need to do in it, and it also takes into account everything that I told it that I need to get done, like recording my videos, my upper body workout, my Bible reading, my office cleaning, and it also has my morning run. It has everything I needed. For the next example, let's say that I want to do a workout and I don't really feel like creating my workout routine. Well, what I can do is I can take past workouts that I've done, throw them into ChatGPT, and have a new workout generated based on those past workouts. So what I've done is I've uploaded 2 images here. They're sideways, that shouldn't be a problem, but I have my Monday workout, my chest workout, And then I have another Monday chest workout, but they're two separate chest workouts. And let's say I want to combine some of the elements. I'm just throwing in past data to ChatGPT so it knows what workouts to utilize for this chest workout that I want to get created in ChatGPT. Now that's a mouthful, so it's better if I just show you what I mean. So I can say, create me a chest workout that focuses on upper chest based on my previous workouts, and I can send it off, and it knows that I'm talking about these two previous workouts. So what it can do is it can create a routine based on past events. But as you can see, it created me a nice workout here. 6 workouts. I can revise this in ChatGPT, revise it on my own, but it does it very quick. So you're taking the friction and the time spent doing the things that you've done multiple times, and you're just throwing it into ChatGPT to automate it a little bit better. This next way that you can save time with ChatGPT is one of my favorites, and I pretty much utilize this one daily. That's ideation and brainstorming in ChatGPT. There's multiple things you can utilize. You can utilize the regular model. You can create mind maps to brainstorm. That's one of my favorite ways because I'm a very visual person, and I know a lot of you are visual people as well and visual learners. So I'll show you a couple of ways you can brainstorm in ChatGPT, and some of these I've already shown on the channel, but I like to put these in here in case you're a new viewer. Maybe you're a designer or a social media poster for a certain company and you need help brainstorming some post ideas. This is a very basic idea of brainstorming. You can run through advanced protocols. You can brainstorm anything for business practically. Sales scripts, which I'll show you a little later. So this is just one example, but I told ChatGPT I need help brainstorming social media posts for my artificial intelligence education company. Help me think of 3 post ideas. So I can send that off, and you can get 3 post ideas. You can ask it for more variations. You can ask it to change things, but it's going to give you these post ideas very quickly. And the main idea behind this is to let ChatGPT feed your brain with information. That way you can take that information and either use it or use it for inspiration for another post. So this is a really good way to stop writer's block or artist block if you're struggling to think of things to create. So that's great that it gave us all of the posts. It gave us the 3: interactive quiz, educational series post, and success story highlight. But let's say that I want to go a little bit further. Well, I can type in a follow-up prompt in order to brainstorm even more to help me out and support that previous output from ChatGPT. For example, I can say something like, what visuals should I utilize for the pictures of each post? Be specific on how these posts should look on the picture side of things, what words I should use to draw attention, and also where I should position everything. Think one post at a time. I can send it off, and then it's going to give me visual styling advice for each one of these posts. So I'm creating this whole system in ChatGPT where it's not only giving me my post, but it's giving me what I should put in the picture. And it's going very in-depth. So for post 1, it's giving me visual elements, text placement and style, and composition. And it's doing that for each one of these posts, and it will be finished in about 30 seconds. This is going to help me complete this job much faster than if I were thinking on my own and getting ideas from thin air. So look at that. It gave me visuals that I need. It gave me my full post idea, the content of what I should do, and I completed this all in about 1 minute. Now, if you're doing this on your own, I'm telling you it would take hours. I used to be in social media, and that would be one of the hardest ideas, is coming up with post ideas for this company in order to contribute to their success. So if I'm not using these ideas directly, what I'm doing is I'm building up a foundation of inspiration in order to help me utilize it to make my own post. And I can even ask ChatGPT to create me an inspiration photo I could use for post number 3. And if you have ChatGPT Plus, what it's going to do is use DALL-E to create an image, and you might even be able to utilize that image for your social media post. And remember, I keep using these hyper-specific examples for certain niches, but think of how you can utilize this in your own niche. As you can see, this is insane. What it did was it told me the visual elements to put in there. It says use professional photos of the highlighted students. And then it says at the top, use a headline from our classroom to their career. And it gives me the composition as well. Now, it didn't create exactly what it told me to, but look at this completely AI-generated image that it created me for this AI education company. It provided me exactly what it said for the things. And it even provided text in the images, which is amazing. For this next brainstorming example, let's say I'm a car salesman and I need some word tracks in order to overcome some possible rejections, but I want to view this in a mind map format. Well, what I might do is I might go to this whimsical diagrams GPT, which is available for Plus users, and I can hit start chat. And what this diagrams GPT will do is actually create a mind map for you, or a sequence diagram or a flow chart within ChatGPT. So I can ask it, I need help brainstorming ideas for my sales script. Create a diagram showing every possible word track I would need to overcome my rejections. My niche is car sales. Here are my rejections. And then I list out some common car sales rejections that if you're a car salesman, you've probably come into these a time or two. And then I tell it to create the mind map and fill in 2 responses for each rejection in order to overcome them. So these are word tracks in order to move the sale forward and to convince the customer to do the right thing and to buy the right vehicle for their needs. So I'm going to send this off. And if you're a visual learner, I know you're going to respect this Whimsical Diagrams plugin because it's insane what it can do, and it's beautiful how quickly it does this. As you can see, it's done creating the mind map. That one took a little bit longer, probably about 30 or 45 seconds, but you can imagine how long this would have taken to do it on your own. And it's not just generating the content that you already knew, but it's generating ideas that you may not have thought of. So I'm going to hit viewer edit this diagram in Whimsical. That way I can zoom in and show you a little closer what's going on here. So I can move this thing around. I can change certain colors. What I can even do is click in here and hide some of these if I don't want to see them. I can condense this down, or I can expand them again. And as you can see, it walks me through everything. So if a customer says I can get it cheaper somewhere else, and then it gives me 2 word tracks that I might be able to utilize in order to help close the sale. So this is good, and this can work in multiple ways. If you're a mind map person, then I know that you're going to appreciate this one. Next way you can save time in ChatGPT is summarizing and understanding information, content, whatever it may be. You may have a blog post that you don't understand, an article, a social media post, a transcript, a book. This tip will quickly help you grasp the main ideas of a long information of text, or even a PDF that's many pages long, and it will help you summarize all that information, get the key points and the understanding. Let me show you a couple of examples now. Let's say I'm reading a book and I want a quick summary of a section and to get the key points and to understand it better. I can tell ChatGPT to summarize this and get the key points only. That way I can just know what I need to do, know what I need to understand, and it's a pretty big paragraph here, and maybe I'm struggling to understand it or I want it summarized. I can send that off, and it's very quick. ChatGPT will read that, and it's already responding. It will be done in about 5 or 10 seconds. And just like that, we have the 4 key points in a nice format. I can reformat this into a table if I want, into a bullet list, into a section with headings and subheadings, but it's really good at summarizing large information and making it easier to understand. Now let's say you have a PDF. What I could do is I could use a PDF GPT in order to help me analyze the PDF no matter the size. So what I can do is I can select this PDF, AI PDF GPT, hit start chat, and then if I click this link icon, I can upload my PDF. So that's what I'll do. I'll hit this link icon, I'll upload a PDF, and this PDF is on a problem-solving method for LLMs. It's a white paper created by a bunch of people who study LLMs, and it's about 20 pages long. So what I can do is I can say, help me understand this easier. Something as simple as that. You don't have to know any crazy language or commands or queries. All you need to do is just help me understand this easier, or summarize this. And it's 20 pages long, and it's a huge PDF. And just by utilizing this GPT with GPT Plus, all I have to do is tell this thing to summarize this 20-page PDF, and what it's going to do is go through there and do just that. And it turns 20 pages into this beautiful summary that helps me understand this much, much better. The next way you could be saving hours in ChatGPT is by utilizing it for data interpretation or data analysis. Now, you can upload spreadsheets, PDFs, as I just showed you, CSVs, code files, images, you name it, and you can analyze that data. I'm going to show you a quick example of how I can upload a spreadsheet with some data on it and get a graph generated and actually analyze that data to see what's going on. So if you're in the GPT-4 model, like I said, you have the ability to upload images and PDFs, spreadsheets, code files, pretty much whatever file you want to ChatGPT by hitting that little link icon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this CSV file of revenue and social media posts. And this is a spreadsheet that I had exported as a CSV. I'm going to hit open, and this is going to load into ChatGPT. Now, before we analyze and interpret this data, what I'm actually going to do is show you the information on the spreadsheet so you can see what's going on. So as you can see, this is some very, very basic data, and it's arbitrary. This isn't actually any real data, it's made up, but it's for a subscription-based company that's selling their app. And what it has is revenue per month over a 12-month time span, and also social media posts across all their platforms, how many times they posted. And what we can do in ChatGPT is see how the social media posts correlate to the revenue for the subscription-based company. And we can just type in a prompt to do that. So the prompt that I've typed in is create a dual axis graph of this data where revenue is displayed as vertical bars and social media posts are displayed as a line graph. You can abbreviate the months in the x-axis, and then I gave some examples of how it can abbreviate those months. But what I'm creating is a dual axis graph with vertical bars and a line graph. It's very advanced, but you can do this in ChatGPT with a very simple prompt in a spreadsheet. I'm going to send off this message, and remember, this is just one of the ways you can interpret and analyze data. It's by uploading a spreadsheet and getting graphs created. It's one of my favorite things to do in ChatGPT. And as you can see, it just created this dual axis line graph displaying this data. I can export this image out of ChatGPT. I can ask it more questions about it, but think about how long this would have taken to create on your own. This red line represents social media posts, and these blue bars represent the revenue for this subscription-based company. You can ask it more questions, you can go more in depth. I go a lot more in depth in this in my ChatGPT Mastery course if that interests you. I even have a section coming out where I have a bunch of these graphs that you can create. The next way you could be saving hours on ChatGPT is by using it for planning, and not only saving hours, but saving a lot of stress. And a lot of things that you might miss, ChatGPT can catch. So if you have a big event, or you have a small event even, or you need event ideas even, you can go to ChatGPT and have the entire event planned for you. You can get a checklist of everything you need, pre, during, and post-event, and you can really get as in-depth with this as you want. But let me show you a very simple example of how you might want to plan out a wedding with ChatGPT. So what I could do is I could type in my prompt. Let's just say I need help planning a wedding. That's what I can tell ChatGPT. I need help planning a wedding. We are having 300 guests and it's taking place outside in August in Florida. So I'm mentioning the month and the location because maybe there's some weather considerations that ChatGPT might have. And then I say, help me plan everything I will need for this wedding. Make sure to cover any blind spots I may miss. And you can get more in depth with this prompt, like what you want to eat, setup you want, where you're having it. But I'm just going to let ChatGPT run with its imagination and give us some ideas. So I'm going to send off this prompt. And after I sent it off, it literally planned everything that I needed to know for the event, from the venue to setup, climate control, food and catering, attire, decor, photography, entertainment, guest comfort, health and safety, event timeline, and coordination. And it gave me basically a big checklist of everything I need to keep in mind in order to plan this 300-person wedding. The final way that ChatGPT could be saving you hours, if utilizing it properly, is utilizing it for learning and knowledge. Whether you're a high school student, college-age student, you're not a student at all, I feel like I'm smarter than I've ever been thanks to ChatGPT because of some of the ways that I can utilize it to help me retain knowledge and understand things at a much better and faster pace. So I'm going to show you a few of those examples of how I am saving time when using ChatGPT for knowledge and for retention techniques. Now you can ask it a lot of questions about knowledge, a lot of content that you're currently studying, or topics you want to learn more about, or just random things such as, what are 10 significant events that happened in 1478? This is one of my favorite things to do, is go into ChatGPT and ask it, what are the significant events that happened in any year? And it's funny how it can just take all of that information and give it to you on events that happened within a very specific year. But let's just say I want to send this off. Let's say I want to learn more about the year 1478. And what it's going to do is very quickly, it's going to give me 10 major events that happened in that year. As you can see, it gave me 10 events in 1478, just a random year, 1478. I could do this with 1477, 1264, 1990, it really doesn't matter, and it gives all of those events, which is kind of a fun way to use ChatGPT. Now you can use it for much more specific things, like content that you're studying, as I said, or a topic that you want to learn and go very in-depth on that topic. But what I'm going to do in order to go more in-depth and to show you how you can use this for learning is I'm going to highlight the Pazzi conspiracy, I think that's how you say that, and I'm going to hit reply. And I'm going to say, go in-depth on this entire event from the timeline to what happened in the end. And I can go very in-depth on certain things that happened, and then what I can do is I can generate a song or something that will help me remember this event much better using ChatGPT. I like learning from songs because we all sing them in our everyday lives. So if you can get a song generated about very important information that happened, it can help you remember the order of things and also what was happening at the time. It gives me a nice little intro here, and it gives me the background, the planning, the attack, the immediate aftermath, the longer term consequences, and finally the legacy. But this is a lot of information to take in, and what happens when I want to remember it all? Well, like I said, you can save hours by using ChatGPT for retention. So I can say, create me a song to help me remember all of these events. And then I can ask it to make it rhyme and have the song be in the order of things that happens. So if you want, you can create a song, you can start singing it to yourself, and you can retain the information through a song. That way you're a master of this information here. And it almost made this song in more of a poetic type form, but it says, in Florence town, 1478, Lorenzo ruled, his plate was great, but Pazzi eyes with envy green plotted dark a deadly scheme. Pazzi's knives in sacred halls, Florence's cathedral walls, Giuliano falls, the city calls for revenge on those who brawl. And then it kind of keeps going down the story. And when you actually read this information up here and you start connecting it with those verses and the choruses of the song, then you can really start to remember the information much better. That's just one of many retention techniques in ChatGPT. That's all I have for this video. If you enjoyed these 7 ways to save time in ChatGPT, then I know you'd enjoy the ChatGPT Mastery course and community. Again, I'll be leaving that in the description or the top pinned comment below. Like this video if you did enjoy. Comment below letting me know ways that you use ChatGPT in order to save time, and also subscribe so you can stay up to date with this ChatGPT content. With that being said, I'll see you in the next video.